Welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be discussing Staff Only by Soorak. Now before we get started, there will be spoilers, so if you don't want to be spoiled this manhwa, go ahead and click off now. No worries, I'll catch you next time. Now for those of you left behind, let's go over some content warnings. There may be references to medical conditions, illegal drug use, specifically fictional drugs, and dubious consent as this appears in the manhwa. Now, if that's all good with you, let's go ahead and get started. As always, let's start with synopsis. Hansol is a teacher and has lived his whole life under the assumption he's a beta. That is until he starts experiencing some concerning symptoms. He goes to the doctor assuming he's just got a cold, maybe the start of the flu, or he's dying when he receives an unexpected diagnosis. He's a late bloomer Omega. While he's thankful that he isn't dying, he's a bit shocked that he's an Omega after reaching adulthood. Still, it's better than the alternative. While the doctor tries to impress upon Hansol the importance of taking his suppressants, Hansol is busy thinking about dinner and any other mundane thing he has to worry over, rather than the very pertinent issue of him being a newly manifested Omega. His laissez-faire attitude comes back to bite him when he forgets his suppressants. He barely makes it through class when he crumples to the ground. Thankfully, the gym teacher Chan is there to help Hansol get to the school nurse, Hansol's friend Yi-sung. There, Yi-sung realizes Hansol has manifested as an Omega, something he had no idea about until now. Uncontrolled pheromones are a rarity in modern society, with most people legally obliged to have implants to keep them in control. Still, Hansol hasn't gotten his implant yet, so his pheromones are wild, and as it happens, Chan and Yi-sung are alphas. Will they be able to hold themselves back, or will Hansol's pheromones be too much to bear? First off, I love this art style so much. It's very clean with an Omega that looks masculine rather than feminine, which is rarer than I'd care to admit. Each character looks very distinct beyond just different colored hair and eyes, which is so nice. Something as small as their eyebrows and eye shapes is particular between each character. I love it. I wish there were more licensed work by Soorak because I'd be all over it. A key point that's gonna sound really weird, but that I love so much is the concept of penis shrinkage in Omegas. I don't know if this has awakened some new fetish or perversion in me, but I love that a key issue for Hansol is that his penis shrinks due to his awakening as an Omega and the medication he's on for his heat. Watching him cry and whine about having a smaller penis while his two alphas praise him for it just did something for me. It's such a fun concept that I wish I had thought of it myself. It makes total sense that this would happen since Omega men don't need their penis to breed, but it's also such a fun way for Hansol to be vulnerable and intimate with Yi-sung and Chan, and in turn make them soothe and comfort him. It's just so clever. The major downer in the short series is that there's no resolution to their current poly situationship. Hansol never indicates that he sees them as nothing more than fuck buddies or just assumes they're in a relationship between the three of them. It's very on brand as Hansol's depicted as a bit of a ditzy airhead, so it totally makes sense that he would never confirm his feelings one way or the other and instead just go with the flow. But it was disappointing all the same. I like to imagine they're in a poly relationship, specifically an alpha omega alpha sandwich, but that's just my headcanon. If you like a definitive ending to love triangles, you may be disappointed with this one as it's not confirmed whether he only wants one or both. Sad face. Granted, if I was forced to choose one of the two alphas in this, I don't think I'd be able to, nor would I want to. So in that way, the fact that this ends with no definitive choice is a plus in its own way. It also lends itself well to a possible longer series where we get some kind of clarity on their relationship. Though I am admittedly just putting that in the universe with the hope that that will be a possibility someday. The worst part about the series is that it ends at all. I could read more of these three people in their goofy situationship as the alphas compete over Hansol while Hansol just blissfully basks in their attention. I love it so much. With that being said, this is short, but near perfection. The worst part about it is that it is so short, which is a fantastic problem to have. I would love more of this any day, anytime. It's smut on smut on smut in an Omegaverse setting with a poly scenario, and my degenerate soul is pleased. Highly recommend. So, have you read Staff Only? If so, what do you think? Do you agree with my assessment? Do you not? Let me know and comment below. Otherwise, I'll catch you next time. Bye!